This meeting is being recorded.
Blimey.
Sure. Give me a fright. What was on there? So anyway, welcome to AI the Cool Stuff. It's Peppercorn Business Network meeting, and we discuss some AI stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks because we've not been there, and any new stuff that we've found out as well. So as always, we're going to go around the room and tell you a little bit about what we do and how we use AI. I think it's a good start. So, Steffi.
Oh, Steffi Lewis, 32-year veteran web developer. Your PCM and Splogit soon to be coming out. I use AI all day, every day, and I'm actually slightly upset about the new version of ChatGPT images because it's too real. I will show you in a little while.
Yeah,
The
excellent.
difference between what I had, which I was really happy with, and what I've got. It just makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Oh,
It's too real. It really is. I'm going to have to get used to it in my head.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very good indeed.
And Jane.
yeah. Hi there. Jane Chakraborty from Victor Linux. We specialize in IT systems for small and medium-sized businesses and licensing. And we focus on Linux and open source. So that's what we do. AI, it's just with us all the time now, isn't it? It's amazing how quickly it's become such a fundamental part of our existence. You want a question answered? It's always AI. But it's interesting is I've got a chat GTP on my phone, and I asked it about Donald Trump, you know, the political questions. It's always a test, isn't it? And basically, it didn't know that Donald Trump had been re-elected, and its cutoff point was 2023. So that's a thing, isn't it? I mean, that's going to be one of the things, you know, the authentication. We're going to have to ask them, how old are you? Are you going to be updated?
Is that the free version?
Yeah, it comes with the iPhone, Andy. So iPhone
Okay.
16 Pro Max. But yeah, I mean it's great, but it's like 3 years out of date, isn't it? Or 2 years out of date.
Yeah, that's why you got to pay a subscription.
Because I mean, ChatGPT online would, you know, most of them are accessing the web now to updating information. So.
I think that's the thing with Apple, and that's one of the, apparently lots of people are turning to Apple now because of their privacy statements. You know, they don't share the data, and there's a downside to that, obviously, because it doesn't share the data. So it's restricted, I suppose, in its own world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to share the data to get the latest. To go to BBC News or something, or Wikipedia or something, you know. So it's so I guess that's something to be aware of, like I said. I mean, if you're aware that it's out of date, but that's kind of that's where we were with ChatGPT 4, wasn't it? Which was like 2023, but that's been retired. That's been sacked off next week. ChatGPT 4, which I'll talk about that later because I'm getting confused by all these ChatGPT models that keep coming out. There's loads of them that come out every. It seems like every few days there's another model. You know, I've just seen one 4.0 with tasks, scheduled tasks. I mean, I can guess from the name what it is, but I mean, I would like to know what its capability is. But we'll talk about that. Andy.
Yeah, Andy Harris, help companies get more from their websites. The AI side of things, I've got a few things on my mind at the moment, actually, of what I've been doing recently. What Steffi said about the images, I think, in ChatGPT being so much stronger. I paid for a thing last year called Ideogram, whatever it's called, which is better images and words. And that'll be one subscription I won't need to pay for anymore because I just don't need it. So things are evolving. The other thing is chat based. David, you were really keen on that. I had a look at that last week in more detail. You seem really keen. Was that the free version or the paid version you were using?
I use the free version. Steffi uses the paid version.
Because the free one, it says it deletes free agents if they're not used in 2 weeks.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's what it says anyway. And then I was looking at it, and the credits for messaging, it didn't seem to give you a massive amount under the free. That's why I was intrigued about why you were.
It doesn't. I mean, most you'll probably find with most websites, people don't use the chatbot that often. So it depends on how much people use in the website. But I mean, I don't actually. I've only got it on my website. The one. I mean, I use a different one.
Yeah. But Steffi, I guess you use it as an API for clients, don't you? Which
Yeah,
probably works out cost effective.
yeah, in most cases. I mean, the new image model is a bit expensive, but totally worth it. Just general chat. When I do a chatbot, I actually write everything I want the chatbot to know and then upload it each time it does a request.
Right.
But it kind of it's interesting how much it remembers from the last conversation because it uses local storage on the browser.
Yeah, I was just intrigued because Chatbase, I thought I was looking at it and thinking, okay, that's quite good. You can use it in various different ways. It's quite a jump from the free level to the paid level. And you think,
No, there's a different way of working. You can actually have the free version, and then you set it up to auto top up.
oh, that's right. Yeah, it has the credits on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the way to do it.
But does that then still work if it says it deletes free agents if they're unused in 2 weeks? Would it still keep them even though you're paying for top ups?
I don't know.
I think it
doesn't affect
depends what
me.
you mean by use. I think if it's not deleted mine,
Okay.
and it might have been deleted, but if people go to the website, it will automatically it'll trigger. It'll say, "Oh, I've triggered
Okay.
the chatbot."
Yeah,
I think if you
so-
don't have the chatbot on your website, then it'll be dormant, and then
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
probably what
delete
we're
it.
talking about.
I'll experiment with that. And the only other thing is something I've got to spend time on, which is this stuff about the supposedly hidden spaces in the AI text that's generated via ChatGPT and it being trackable, which I've got to look. Apparently, they create half spaces or tiny, not real spaces in it that you can actually pick up from code when you put them into something. So there is visibility of AI. The fact that it's generated by AI. So it's just something I want to look into in more depth. I don't know enough about it yet.
Yeah,
I've
Oh,
never
that's
seen that.
interesting.
I've never seen that.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Because when you get something back from the API, it's a string of ASCII characters.
Yeah.
And because I do a lot of work in that with those and replace things like slash ends and stuff like that with carriage returns, I've
Yeah.
never seen any hidden characters. The only time you get a hidden character is a bomb character at the beginning of a piece of text, which you can just get rid of by converting to HTML encode.
Yeah. It's a thing. I'll have to look more into it. But basically, a guy did a video and it just showed how it showed them like you would normally see characters in the code when you put it into something. You could see these little things coming up in there. I've just got to spend more time on it because could there be implications for that? Maybe. Don't know.
I've never
I
seen.
think what they were saying is there's no one's saying that they're going to use it for negative reasons or anything, but for some reason they're in there.
Well, that'd be really interesting because they'll have to encode as a character, so it's easy to filter them out.
Yeah, I'll spend more time on it because I haven't had the time to look at it yet.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. The chatbot I use is something called mychatbots.ai, and that's I paid $90, I think, and I've got unlimited chatbots. And
Oh, here you go.
What a
Yeah.
one-off.
I just paid a one-off $90, and then I've got unlimited chatbots. Now
That's not chat based though, is it?
No, it's my chatbots, and you have to do a bit of work creating code.
Okay.
It'll give you the code to actually put the chatbot on the website, and then it'll do what you say. You upload a document with everything in it. Then it'll also use ChatGPT, and you can say, like I've created one on a gardening website. I've said you can answer any horticultural questions, but if it's a not, then refuse it. So it's
What's that called?
it's a bluesgardendesign.co.uk.
No, sorry, the chatbot thing.
Oh, the chatbot is mychatbots.ai.
Okay.
And then I can say, so then you've still got to buy the tokens if it goes outside. You can limit it to whatever you upload, in which case it's not going to cost you anything.
Yeah.
But you have to connect it to ChatGPT API, for instance.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
you can, yeah.
Cool.
The
Okay.
only thing I've found about his characters is about building them into your prompts and injecting them
Yeah.
maliciously into
I'll see if I can find out in the background while we're having our meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know more about that because I'm doing it and I need to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Mike.
Morning all. Hope everybody's keeping well.
Yeah.
Having listened to that conversation, I think I'm in the wrong place. No idea what you're talking about. But maybe we'll learn something. The only thing is my internet is being real difficult at the moment and keeps cutting out on me. So you may lose me. If you lose me, I'm sorry. But, happy to be here. Happy to see you all again. You know who I am, what I do. So fine.
But all the viewers, both of them, might not know who you are.
Well, you've got two more than I have on my account, that's for sure.
It depends. I'm going to start putting other stuff on there as well. So I'll try and promote the channel. Okay, and I'm David Harris, and I'm apart from running Peppercorn, I do mostly WordPress web design and content, and I've got a pet project called Cobber's Nobbus Steampunk Saga on YouTube, which I'm enjoying doing, but I've given myself a bit of a task because I'm trying to lip sync an entire 3-minute song. And it's giving me nightmares. So it's but I'm just doing it because I want to do it rather than because it's easy to do a 5-second or 10-second lip sync, because there are plenty of tools to do that, like Kling or something. But I'm trying to do it with a 3.5-minute video is joining things up and so they don't look crap is kind of the art, I think. So good. Okay.
I just found that thing, by the way. Don't bother. Yeah, just take it for later. It's just a TikTok video. It's a few minutes, but I haven't gone into it in depth yet, so it might be crap. But at the same time, that's where I found it from.
Yeah.
Just put it in the chat.
Well, I've never seen any UTF characters embedded in the responses. You occasionally get one at the beginning, but that's UTF-8 BM.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a bit daring, but I just thought it popped up in front of me. I thought, okay, I need to spend a bit of time on that. Look, but it's there for you if you want to look at it. It's in the chat for afterwards type thing. Just look at it later.
So is the point that these random characters that may or may not be inserted in AI sort of some kind of detection?
Well, it's like the guy on that video is basically saying it's like a watermark type thing, but they're in the form of spaces. But he's not saying it's negative necessarily. You have to look at the thing in detail, but it's like about 4 minutes, I think, or a few minutes of video, but it's just for interest, really.
Yeah.
Right, on one of my posts on LinkedIn this week, I was asking as an inspiration to lots of people logging in and finding out do you know the difference between Grok and Groq? It's Grok, Grok, and Groq, Groq.
Right.
And it only occurred to me, I did know Grok was kind of different, but it didn't really occur to me, it's over the last few weeks because there's been more stories about Grok, Grok, because it's free, it's essentially, and it's pretty good. I've got to be honest, it is pretty good. And it's but there's also another one called Grok, which are two different things. I mean, it's not Elon having a branding wobble at 3 a.m. I mean, it's deciding to change the name. It's the sort of Grok, Grok is obviously sort of Elon's brainchild, and it's got like a bit of a sense of humor and a slight tendency to roast your mid-query or something, and it's and it's but Grok is like the supposedly the speed demon of AI. It's using the top of the range NVIDIA chips, and it's you know it's its thing is being fast. What did ChatGPT say? Grok thinks fast and talks sassy. Grok Groq doesn't talk. It just silently obliterates benchmarks while sipping molten silicon through a titanium straw.
What?
So it's Grok Groq was set up by a Google engineer, Jonathan Ross. Not that guy. This is another Jonathan Ross, who was and then lots of other companies, private equity companies, have thrown a few billions at it, like they do. So it all becomes sort of silly money. And I'm just gonna share my screen quickly. So this is Grok. It looks pretty much like most of the others, including ChatGPT. It works pretty well. Write me a 600-word blog on Steam history. Not can do that, and it'll probably do it quite quickly, and it does. So I mean, there's no thinking about it. Just bang it straight in there, you know. So I'm just using this example because I've used it in something else that I'm looking at as well. So anyway, it just bangs it straight out, you know, with control. And
to accurate numbers, obviously a lot of ChatGPT things you ask it to generate something that's 1,000 words and it doesn't do it.
yeah,
How good is Grok?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's been pretty spot on. It's been a little bit, you know, obviously it can't be totally dead on, but
No.
it's been a lot more obedient when I've been specifying 600 words or so many characters, because of creating the because we normally create audio files with a post, so it's it's going to create it creates images as well, and it's not shy. Like if you said, do me a cartoon version of Elon Musk, or do me a joke cartoon of Donald Trump, it'll do it, you know. So it hasn't got so much of a filter, and they're pretty good, you know. I mean, I've been very unspecific. I've just said goes with this post, you know, and that would probably go with the post. I didn't specify size. You can do that as well. So yeah, so that's Grok. Grok is the other one. Give me I did try this earlier. 600 words on it's supposed to be blisteringly fast, but I mean spell it right, otherwise I'm confusing. And it tells me it's thinking and it's reasoning. So and then it has banged out a post. I can tell you that's not 600 words, but it's probably a bit less than that. But I mean, I think it might be. But it's probably, at first glance, I don't know. I haven't compared them properly. This looks like more what I'd be looking for, because this is just give me a load of. Okay. Oh no, actually, it has come up with this. It has actually, so I'll take that back. No, it has done a pretty good job. So listen, the other thing I like, Actually, that's probably not far off 600. That is 600 words. I'll take that back as well. So they're both done a good job, and they're both pretty quick. So it's the other one is the other thing about Grok with a Q, you can have a free API. If you don't know what that means, it doesn't matter. It's basically if you want to use Grok in another application, you can create a connection to Grok, and that connection is free, and you can use the free your free allocation of that you would get on the website, which is not mean, and I can't remember how much it is. Otherwise, you just pay the token price. There's no subscription. So I don't know how those compare. Steffi, do you know? How would that compare?
I'm not off the top of my head.
No.
They're probably all comparable these
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Trying to
The
compete
DeepSeek
with-
looks a bit expensive. You know, it's $1 per million output. But I've seen more expensive ones. I've seen $15. So
yeah, ChatGPT 4.5 in the API is quite expensive.
yeah. So Llama, that's the Meta version, isn't it? That's the Meta one. Quen is the new Alibaba one, Chinese one, which has had a lot of good. I've seen like good write-ups about. So that's so yeah. So that was my. So I had to do that because I promised it on LinkedIn, and somebody might watch the video. So it's you never know. I think I'm average. As I said earlier, I think I'm averaging 2 people on that. So that's Grok and Grok. So it's obviously Elon owns Grok entirely, I think pretty much, and Grok GROQ is owned by BlackRock Private Equity Partners, Tiger Global Management, One Capital Partners, and Social Capital led by Clement Sorry to him, but I can't pronounce his name.
Isn't BlackRock the mercenary group as well? You've got
I think they were, yeah. So they didn't sling in that much, only 640 million. So and Grok with a Q is valued at 2.8 billion. It says in August, so it's
nice unicorn.
It's okay. So the other one, I'll just quickly do this. Then we'll have a look at Steffi's images.
I can't see anybody's screen. I don't know what's going on with my. I might try and log in on another one and see whether I can see. But carry on.
Okay, because I sort of read a story yesterday that social media companies are going to start using AI to monitor for security reasons to monitor their users because of their so I made a little slideshow, so I'm going to show it. This is the new gatekeeper, and it's supposedly as a safety net. And I need to click in there somewhere. Okay, so sort of user safety is becoming more of a thing, and there were new UK regulations out yesterday regarding social media, and I don't know if you know, but in Australia they banned all children under the age of 16 from accessing any social media. Good luck with that, but I mean, it's
my nephew is not happy.
Is that in place? That's in place now, is it?
Yeah.
My nephew's not happy. He's 15, and my sister, his mum, just took all his devices away.
Yeah.
How are they going to stop it though? How are they going to know their age?
Well, you have to prove your ID. You have to have ID if you're there. Plus, it's going to be. I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. So it's going to be the role of AI in content moderation. It's supposed to detect the harmful content itself and filter off inappropriate material, basically to protect children online. I know there was lots of stuff about sort of suicide and sort of Facebook are pretty good at getting rid of the smutty stuff, but not always, you know. So there was an Ofcom announcement yesterday. They introduced over 40 messages. It's spelled Ofcom wrong on its building. So it's got to be, there's a focus on age verification and content moderation. And I know the other main thing was that at the moment they just, oh sorry, it was the algorithm, you know, there's nothing we can do. Now the government's saying no, that's not good enough. You've got to appoint somebody who's going to be responsible. So now we can go after them if it's wrong. So it's going to this is another awkward one. If someone's 15 rather than 16, how face recognition technologies might not do the job, you know. And like I said, content filtering, the self-harming, eating disorders, pornography, and it's supposed to be like a really rapid response, so it instantly removes stuff that's been questioned, you know. So it'll be removed straight away, then it'll be examined, then it'll be put back if it's not a problem. So yeah, so each social media platform's got to have a named individual in this country responsible for child safety. So fine is 18 million or 10% of global revenue. I think 18 million probably wouldn't phase them, but 10% of global revenue might. So 100% compliance required from all platforms. So it'd be interesting to see how they, and if they enforce it properly.
Can you go back up a slide, David? I noticed something odd. Those two men, are they twins?
I think they are. Yeah. I believe they are. Yeah.
One looks like Tim Cook.
And it's better. It doesn't use ChatGPT to generate its images. This one, it uses something else. So that's why we've got some dodgy spelling as well. So it's Copylance. EV creations. Anyway, okay. So that's the what Facebook is suggesting, and others will be as well, is that it'd be AI that's actually going to be doing the job of sorting this stuff out. So who knows? We'll watch it.
The only downside to AI doing content moderation is that it's going to see things that traumatized content moderators, and we're feeding that into an LLM.
Right. Yeah.
Like the worst of humanity, we're feeding it into the content LLM.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that's it as well. And they've got, you know, there's the usual privacy, the sort of balance and bias as always. You know, who makes the rules, who says what is good and what is bad, and all those things. You know, how they're going to decide about whether a post is acceptable or not. You know, what some people find acceptable, others don't. So it might be
exactly, and that crude measure as well. You remember when I got chucked off of Pi for asking a question about just using the wrong phrase within a quite a complex question. It was quite disappointing, really.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I'm gonna I'll end it on there. And it is, because it can be, like I say, you're a victim of an algorithm and a system that's not going to let you in because it's all automated. So there's no human there that's going to say, well, actually, Jane, you're a bit unfair there. I think we'll let you back in, you know. And because you can only ask the machine. You never ask a human with that particular chatbot, you know.
With content, though, I mean, as adults, we sometimes see stuff on TikTok and all different places, You would think there'd be some sort of a button there all the time that you could just sort of say suitable for children, suitable for all these age ranges or whatever it is, just so that the humans can sometimes get involved. So we might see things and think, oh, actually, if a kid saw that, I don't think it'd be suitable. And we just you click that button, and that can feed into the algorithm as well.
Yeah, yeah. If you're like a strict sort of Christian sort of, you might have a different view. But then if
it's got to take
but you've got to take, if you're taking thousands of views in, then you might get somewhere nearer what's acceptable in society then, wouldn't you? So it's as a whole.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So difficult. How can there's not a global
no standard
acceptance of anything, is there? And we just have
no, I mean we're all different, but you do get a trend, you know. You do get, you know, you sort of, they chuck out the extreme people, you know, at the top and the bottom. You know, so some people would ban everything, and somebody else wouldn't ban anything at all. So, and in the middle, you would get the sort of where the main people are, you know, sort of where the majority of people are. So,
quick question: why can I hear Jane talking if she's muted? Got a mute symbol.
She's talking through one and viewing through another.
Yeah, I couldn't see David's screen, so I fired up. I joined again, so there's two of me. But you'll be. I had. Yeah. Anyway.
That's really weird.
Okay, Steffi, do you want to talk about images? Do you want to show us?
Yes. So ChatGPT have finally, or OpenAI finally added a new image model into the API. So you've been able to have access to it for quite some time in the front end, but it's not as good as what I've got in the API in the background. In fact, before I was allowed access to it, I had to go through full legal identity verification for both my business and myself. So I think they're a bit worried that people might abuse it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share my screen. That one. Oh, is it that one? Yes, it's that one. Okay, hang on a minute. Right. Okay, so here's my new blog. This is the new Steffi Lewis blog built on Platform V2. And this is the standard of image that I was getting before with the existing DALL-E 3 model, which I was very, very happy with. That's actually, in my view, a very beautiful picture. It's nicely done. You can tell it's not a real human, which is fine by me, but it was a perfect metaphor for that article. However, when I plugged in the new model, I got this. And this is the exact same prompt as the previous one. I got that.
Wow.
Which is a hell of a lot more realistic. And I looked at that and went, oh, it makes me feel really uncomfortable. And the fact is she's walking down the middle of the road, which isn't good. So I did some fiddling around. I started playing with, instead of realistic, I said, okay, well, give me a sci-fi prompt instead. And I got something a bit more to me. It was a bit more, yeah, I quite like that. And, you know, obviously that is a human being in a sci-fi environment now.
And being in the road, it's okay because the things are flying above our head in that particular case.
Exactly. And everybody else is walking in the road, which is fine. So then I finally settled on this one, which is very futuristic and rather realistic, and it kind of looks a bit more like me because I have got a scarf like that and a coat like that, which is good. Although I probably need to wash my hair to get it to look like that. But she's kind of walking on the sidewalk now, so I'm going to stick with that one. I quite like it. The only thing I would do to this now is probably just chop it a little bit, because I always like to take about 10% off my images. Is that
the sidewalk's in the middle of the road, actually. The road's on either side of the sidewalk, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was one example. The next example, the one that really impressed me, was this was DALL-E 3 again. So I was talking about robots are there to support us, and I said, oh, you know, a little a wide image of a 6-wheel delivery robot, and I got that, which is quite good. But what I was actually after was this, and it actually created it for me. So when I just plugged it into the new model, I got that. Oh, hello. No, not that one. That wasn't the one I wanted. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, was it that one? Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah, there we go, that one. And that is a Milton Keynes delivery robot. It's exactly the same. That looks exactly what it is. So it knows what I was talking about, and it did it. So 6-wheel delivery robot, and it went, oh yeah, full red flag. That's exactly what they're the food delivery robots that we get in Milton Keynes and Northampton, which is quite cool. But you can see the realism of the entire image behind it as well. It does look a lot more realistic. It's I'd say it's 99% there to being real.
Yeah,
But
because Daddy used to do shadows and things, but not always. Sometimes it them out, sometimes they were going the wrong way. But these are pretty consistent.
Yeah, but you know, shown in springtime, the quality of the trees, the buildings, shallow depth of field, because I always say that on realistic, give me shallow depth of field, it's done all that for me. One that I was feeling particularly uncomfortable about, I've lost the original image because I was farting around with it, but let's go into images. I mean, look at that. Look at the quality of that image. It's a little bit dark. I always say put a black cat somewhere in the room when I'm talking about me, as in, you know, me coding and me doing this, that, and the other. I always say put a black cat somewhere in the image and as well. But if you go sci-fi, it kind of, you know, zhuzhes it up a little bit. You know, so we got an image like that one. But again, I mean, that was the first one that I did, literally off the same prompt as
Your desk that clear?
Sorry?
Is your desk that clear? I mean, mine isn't. I can hardly see the desk underneath all this gunk.
Yeah, well, I was talking about a messy desk because I was like, I think this was last year when I was doing your PCM. Everyone was messy, but you
That's
know,
more realistic.
yeah, that's a hell of a lot more. Again, black cat in the background, but you can't really tell it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to experimenting with it, but it is beginning to come a little bit uncanny valley, really, because those images are, you know, they make me feel a bit uncomfortable because they're so real. But at the same time, you know, I get to specify a bit more in my prompt about, you know, a wide shot of a beautiful blonde female coder wearing glasses, jeans, trainers, pink t-shirt, working at a triple screen computer in a well-lit English home office with a smartphone and mug of coffee. You see the detail I'm putting into the image now, into the prompt. And it just does it for me.
It's all there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got leads on the computers as well, hasn't it?
Got what, sorry?
It's got leads on the computer, so you know, at the back of the computer, all the terminals.
Yeah, so that's the one that I've chosen there. There's the robot. You see, this is the quality. If I just open that image in a open image in a new tab, you see, that's the sort of thing I was getting. Whereas now, this is the sort of thing we're getting. So, you know, it's a massive step forward. And I can, you know, there's the other one I was playing with. This was to do with AI oversight, you know, again, sci-fi, but it's like I said, an AI control center, and it automatically made it dark and moody. This is the one that I showed you, David. My first experiment was to do with, you know, robotics and stuff in warehousing and the like. And the original ones had Amazon logos everywhere on all the boxes, and I thought I probably should do that without Amazon logos, just from a brand thing. But you get the idea, you know, the robot.
But where's the images? Sorry, where are you getting the images from in this case? The new ones?
It's the ChatGPT Image 1 model.
Okay, so it's a separate model to the one you get on your standard paid subscription, is it?
Yeah, so in the front end you're using GPT-4 image.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm using GPT Image 1, which has no restrictions, and that's why they made sure that you have to do identity validation.
Right.
So if I was to do Donald Trump naked sprawled across the desk in the Oval Office, they would know that I created that. And they
no, it could be real, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, but it would look that real, you know.
Yeah.
And if I put that image out into the wild, that's the thing. But the thing is, you know, OpenAI would know that I created that because of the identity.
So image 1 is not going to be released as a generic thing for people to use. Then it's just for those that have been vetted.
Yeah, you have to be vetted to use it because
in the playground.
It is available. Oh, is it available in the playground? It probably should. If it's available to the API, it'll be in the playground.
Yeah, 'cause I do use. I mean, I use the API for chatbots, but I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, it's got images in the playground.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what model it's using though.
no.
It also gives you a bit of a distinct advantage as well, doesn't it? If you can produce that quality of stuff within your setup.
Yeah, but that's the thing, the whole point is I've been doing all this stuff separately and bringing it into my old blogging platform. I'm doing it all in the blogging platform now.
Yeah.
So quite literally, if I go into the system, and I'll just bring one up, everything in here is AI. So, I all I do is set all the settings up and all the parameters. Then I go to the words. This is unfinished at the moment. No, this one isn't finished. So I do all the editing. So I create it via AI, and then I'll go through and edit it. That's the key. The unique selling point is, yes, it's AI blogging, but we're actually creating it. But then again, we've got things like FAQ, and that is for AI search. I can put questions and answers in there. So, for example, if I was to do a create now, it would actually go off and use ChatGPT, read my blog post, and then create a bunch of Q&As that the front end doesn't see. It's hidden away in the background, for AI. Same with images, head into images, just hit create, and then I can do a few of them and switch in and out which one I like the best. Same with audio version, that's using ChatGPT for which model is it? 4.0 Mini TTS. So it'll do that for you. And I've actually got it speaking in a slightly English tone now. So it's an American trying to do an English accent. You can tell that. But if I play that.
Your PCM version 2.
Oh no, I haven't updated that one. But we can set the tone on the voice. And if I was to re-edit that again, it would actually be slightly more English, because what it's doing is I've said if the language here, so if the country you're in is United Kingdom, it says a clear British accent. If I was to change that to Ireland, it would say clear Irish accent, or a clear American accent, or a clear Australian accent, that sort of thing. So it kind of almost there, but not quite. Links and mailers, these are all just things that I generate automatically. And then I finish it off with little stuff like, get me some hashtags, get me some keywords, get me some a section to put this in on a news article, that sort of thing. And then I create a video and upload it to YouTube, but that's not, the video's created in Canva. I can't get the video creation into here yet, unfortunately, because Story doesn't do what I want it to do.
Are we going to get to the point, that image you had of you at the desk type thing? Okay, yeah. It's much more real than a lot of the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to find people will even get used to that? So if you adapted the prompt to say, for example, not a perfectly tidy desk or something like that, so it actually looks even more real. We get to these levels where people want to see it, real life type stuff.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's probably one of the longest prompts that I've ever issued for an image.
Yeah,
but it will take a hell of a lot more. I can be seriously detailed about every single aspect of it.
Yeah.
The one thing that you can't do yet, you can do it with DALL-E 2, is you can actually lock in the seed and say, like this, but slightly different, add this, add that, add the other. What I want to be able to do, and I still can't do, is upload a reference image and say, this is me, put me in this situation.
Yeah.
It'll be coming. It is on the front end. It is on the
It's on the front end
at the moment of
ChatGPT. So when we get to ChatGPT image 2, maybe, or 1.1, they may actually add that in, because they have in DALL-E 2, they have edits, so you can actually take an image and edit it and change it around. DALL-E 3 never did that, and so far ChatGPT image 1 doesn't. But we're getting there.
You can keep reusing that lady, like you can say, can I have this lady outside playing football, and they'll get her outside playing football. So she's the same. You've got a consistency through different things.
Yeah. So that's what we need to do. Either I have a full body image of me, a photograph of me that I say put this person into, this situation. That's where we want to be. But I mean, the quality of that is just it's just stunning. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah, but look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good,
That
isn't it?
hey, I wouldn't know that's not real. I mean, apart from the fact that there's no biscuits and there's not enough LED. Yeah.
But I mean,
LED is life, baby.
but if you need to do text to voice, uh, chat using the playground, it's probably the cheapest way to do it out of all of the, like if you go to 11 Labs and all these other things, it will cost you a lot more money than just getting a ChatGPT account and a developer account and just use the playground. And there's so many options now because you've got the basic voices. I don't know how many there is, 6 or 8.
No, there's 11 now.
Yeah, the 11 voices, and then you've got lots of different options, and you can put in a prompt as well. So it's there are thousands of different voices you could create, maybe millions, I don't know, but there's a lot.
Yeah, so I say read this in a clear British accent, and it does sound like an American trying to do an English accent, but it's getting there. It's getting close.
Yeah, occasionally it puts gaps in. I've noticed with the playground with the voice, but I just rerun it and then it does it. It seems to do
Yeah. There we go. Dog in a canoe.
it. Yeah, yeah, and that's like a very short prompt, isn't it? Like you said earlier, you can say 16:9 image with and then be very specific about what it
Oh,
is.
I'll tell you what, let me take that prompt and see what it does in here. So see what difference comes up on here. I don't know what model it's using in here. I would assume it's GPT image 1,
yeah, yeah,
like I've got because we're in the playground, but it could be DALL-E for all I know.
yeah. I no. Apparently they've retired DALL-E.
No, it's still available in the API.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, DALL-E 3 is still I can still use it if I wanted to.
All right, because it's not available on the front end. They just said it's been. Oh, perhaps it's on the 30th.
The only thing I want to do with see, look, it's the same girl again. Very similar girl. Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't think I can. No, I can't open it in a new window. That is very similar to what I created. It is. The only thing I need to be able to do with the audio is speed it up slightly because sometimes she talks a little bit too slowly for me. But you can do that. You can actually set a switch that says speed 1.1, 1.2, whatever, and it'll actually speed it up for you. But there you go. You get the idea of how it's all progressing nicely.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
Yeah. I still think, there's lots of other sort of winning on benchmarks and things, like until the next one comes out. And then, but the fact that ChatGPT had a massive uplift in subscribers when they brought out the new image sort of generator would be
I mean, it takes longer. It takes longer to create. I mean, you probably all notice that there's a good lag on image creation in the front end.
It's speeding up. That they're going to put in more of those chips into image creation.
Yeah. It's gone from 20 seconds to create an image to about 50, maybe a minute now.
Yeah.
So it has slowed down dramatically. I had to really mess around with my timeouts to get it working properly.
Apparently, it's just because of the number of users, and they'll be addressing that. So it's something that will be there. But even, waiting 50 seconds for a great image is
I know.
too bad. So waiting 50 seconds for a crap image is something else, isn't it?
I'll be happy when it's a bit cheaper. I burnt through $16 yesterday integrating the new model.
Right. Yeah. Because if you subscribe to ChatGPT, it's $20 a month, and you get, I believe it's pretty much unlimited. It's unlimited 4.0, and I've created lots and lots of images, and I've never hit a wall. So it's I think it's I think it's
Yeah, I can do that, but then I have to take the image from the front end and save it to my computer, then upload it
yeah,
into a blog post, whereas I can just push a button and create it there and then.
exactly, yeah, and that's the whole idea, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's to make my life a lot easier. If I can produce an entire blog post in 15 minutes, that's where I need to be.
Yeah, because there's there are different. I did make a slideshow, but I haven't got time for all this. There are loads of different models that come out with these uh, chat bots. You know, there's a and there's different, like there's the 4.0 mini is a version that we use on chatbots on websites because it's cheaper and it's quick and it works really well. 4.0 is the standard. You've got unlimited use of 4.0 if you're a subscriber. I think it might be unlimited now for free users as well. I'm not sure. It's certainly a thing. The I just want to quickly. I was going to go through the various models, but I'm not going to now. What I want to do is quickly go through Manus. We touched on it before, but it's AI agents. We've only got 5 minutes, so I'll cover it next time. But I've been playing around with Manus because I finally got an email saying you're in. You know? So hopefully it's quick. Now I'm not going to go the ins and outs of it because we haven't got time. But I'll just quickly show you what I've been doing. And this is the Manus screen. The thing I like about this is that if you use something like Make, like I've used this Make to monitor my website. If there's a new blog post, create a Facebook post and post it onto Facebook. Right, you can do that, but it's hugely complicated. The thing I like about Manus is that it's a conversational chatbot as well. You can just ask it in English what it is you want to do, and it'll create the processes for you, which makes the whole thing way easier, but it's more expensive. It gives you 1,000 credits to start with, and this is what I was going to do with this. I was going to get it to create posts on autopilot and then just post them to the website. A bit dangerous, but I was going to put it into. I wasn't going to actually make them published. I was going to make them into draft mode so I can read them first before I publish them. But I actually put them in, and I had a conversation with it about it, and it said I could give it the username password of the WordPress site, but it didn't like that idea very much. Or it could open up a window for me to log in, and it would use that and then shut it down afterwards. Or it would we could use an API as another system for APIs, which is what we did, but we didn't get that far. And I'll tell you why. It went through. It told me all its suggestions. Is it telling me? Yeah, okay. So it went through all these things. It tells you all its workings out while it's going along, which is I don't know if you can switch it off, but it's a little bit unnecessary. I asked it to create 10 blog posts for my website. I told it what the website was, and it looked through there. It came up with some suggestions. I said, "Yep, fine. Let's go for it." So it created 600 posts. It created sorry, it didn't create 600 posts. It created 10 600 posts, 600 word posts, which is what I asked it to do, and it created it produced an image for each one. So and then it put it down to, it resized it to make it all the same size, and then it then put it into a zip folder that I could then download. Now, the reason I couldn't go further and get it to do all the other things I said was that I ran out of credits. So it's used up 1,000 credits doing that, and it's basically $35 a month for 3,500 credits, which I wasn't ready to pay for that at that time, you know. But and it's 2,900. If it's 199 for 2,900. But I can see the system itself is brilliant. The cost may be restrictive, but it depends. If you're doing work for other people and getting a return on that, then, you know, if the ROI is there, then obviously you would do it all day long, you know. So it depends on your things. You may think, well, I'll just learn how to use Make, you know, and pay $20 a month and do as much as I like, you know. So I mean, it depends on what you want to do. But I'm pretty impressed with Manus, the way it works. I mean, I think it's a really good tool. You know, you could get it to do anything. You know, it can answer your emails. It can do, you know, I know that's pretty simple, but it can do so many things. It can do practically anything. You could set yourself up as a travel agent, build itineraries and things like that, you know, and it's somebody said you could get a premium for that. You know, you just key in all the specifications of the client, put it into Manus, say off you go, get me an itinerary for this on this date, and it would do it.
That's good. I tried it. I got an invite too. And I tried it, and every time I tried it to ask it something, it just couldn't complete the task because the servers were obviously under so much pressure. So I don't know. But that was a couple of weeks ago now, about 3 weeks ago. I think I tried it. So
Right, I tried it. Yeah, it has, but it has had a lot of. That's why it's been restricting new users because of the workload. You know, it's in the middle of China somewhere, and it's the other one. That's the other news story was the Chinese. Chinese have got their own. They're making their own chips and things, aren't they? There's a because Trump's banned them from exporting chips to China because they're obviously competing now in terms of AI. And obviously the Americans don't want that because their whole economy is tied up in technology. So they've just, Huawei have just knocked out their own. within months, they've got the US sanctions, and I guess they knew they were coming up, but it's not quite as fast as but they've already produced it and they're already producing it for Chinese companies. So it's not as advanced as the NVIDIA chips, but it's not far behind, you know, and I can see them catching up. So that's the other one I was going to talk about. But we've run out of time, so I'm going to stop recording.